Hello friends, welcome to Python RPA Automation series blog. In my very first video, I covered how to download and use LLMA models and model weights on Ubuntu machine. In second video, I cover related documentation how to do the same thing on Windows environment, and also shown you a use case how you can use this model to monitor employee attendance and expenses. In this video today, I'm going to show you another very interesting use case I've been working on, using language models as OCR and Vision AI for my documents. So let me browse to my GitHub repository. And I want to call out that all the links are included in the video description below. Now, before we jump onto the details about the implementation, let me show you a quick demo of this application. And I will also give you an overview about what you're going to see so that you can decide whether to watch more or skip this video. Alright, so our overall objective is to build an inexpensive OCR and Vision AI on some real life production like data. So these are the steps we are going to follow. Let's assume that one of your employees submit their expense sheet and upload a receipt, or you receive a vendor invoice, or it could be any document. So what you want to do, you want to read the content of the document and you want to fully automate the whole thing. So what we are going to do, as soon as you receive that particular document or image, you want to call in a script and read the content from that particular image. Now here I'm going to show an example, very funny example. Suppose you want to read it from a screenshot, and it could be anything. So here, just for the fun, I'm reading the content of an Apple stock today. And I will show you how to build that thing. So it could be in a screenshot, it could be any document. So as you can see, this is a very complex document and there are a lot of information embedded in this one. Please pay attention to this. This is a screenshot of a web page. So the stock prices, all sort of numbers are out there. And one of the reasons I'm using this, because there are so many numbers, I want to test the LLMA or maybe ChatGPT, how it's going to figure out the exact numbers. So once we read the content of that particular image or web page, what we are going to do, we are going to build a dynamic prompt, and we'll pass this prompt dynamically to call your preferred language model. So for example, LLMA or ChatGPT, and you will be surprised to see that both of them were very, very accurately able to predict that. So for example, in all sort of those numbers, I ask one question, respond in one word the average volume of the stock in this text. And you'll be surprised. I was actually amazed to see that it was very accurately able to predict that, that exact number. So for example, 70 million or something like that, that was the average volume of the stock. And also I said, hey, can you prepare some kind of a table from that? So, and it was able to, all of those numbers, it was able to break it down and create a very nice key value JSON kind of a text here, which obviously you can store that in a database because, it's easy to read the JSON values here. So that's what we are going to achieve in this video today. So enough with the demo, let's go head out to our code now. All right. Now, since I got your attention and you are still watching this, let me formally introduce myself. My name is Amit Shukla and I train neural networks on finance, supply chain, healthcare data to predict useful patterns. Most of the work you see in my GitHub repository is the result of my effort to predict supply chain shortage, especially for healthcare during pandemic. Now in this video today, we are going to build an inexpensive OCR. I keep on using the word inexpensive. I don't want to use the word say cheap because cheap sounds too cheap. Now you might wonder, why should I develop and work on another OCR Vision AI solution when there are thousands and thousands of available options in the market? So most of the offerings you see in the market, they are actually the wrappers and built around the open source OCR package. And in this video today, I'm going to use the same OCR package and I'm going to rebuild my own OCR Vision AI library here. You may also ask, there are a lot of organizations, they offer the Vision AI as well, but those I find them very, very expensive. So, and those are not actually trained on my real data. So this use case, that particular use case, what I was showing you, that was without any fine tuning on existing knowledge base. So if you pretend that if you tune those models and model base on your knowledge base, that means on your document, I bet you are going to see the results, which are 10 to 20 times or maybe 100 times better than these Vision AIs. And once you are using your in-house knowledge base to train these models, you can definitely, you can use this Vision AI on different use cases. For example, you can use it as a document classifier, a digital private signature, or scanning the confidential information like PHI, a private health or personal data on your document. So there are a lot of secured information in contracts and spends. Obviously, those are your organization related document and you don't want to throw it on the internet. So that's why, you can download this LLMA model. You can train those models on your in-house knowledge base and you are going to see better results. Those are 1,000 times better than using any external Vision AIs. So let me do a code walkthrough. And assuming that you want to automate the entire business operation, so as soon as a file is received, you want to take an action on that. So in this step, this code, what you can do. So for example, somebody does an FTP, or maybe a file is uploaded by any means. So for example, one of your employee drops a file to your SFTP location here. So as soon as the file is put, this is the Linux code you can use to put a file into a folder. And as soon as the file is received, or maybe you take a screenshot of image. Now this code, what it does, as you can see, I'm using Pillow library here and Selenium. Both are open source, absolutely free of the cost packages here. So let me show you an example here. This is the URL. Again, you can change the URL as per your business requirement. Here I'm just taking a screenshot of an Apple image here. Now if you want to go through the details of this particular code, what it does, I have covered the entire things in this Python automation scripts in previous videos. Please go through this video, and here in this video I have discussed the entire source code line by line, how I built this code. And this code, what you're seeing today, is just a copy of that particular code what I used earlier. So again, what this code does, it takes a URL and it goes to that website, it takes a screenshot. And as soon as the screenshot is taken, you want to take that screenshot and you can download to a local PNG file. So let me execute this. All right, as you can see this screen. So I am taking you are not seeing the full picture here, but what it does in the background, it takes the picture of the entire web page and is going to save it to a file called apple.png. Now you want to write another script. So as soon as the file is dropped, you want to execute your automation script, that you want to trigger another script here. Again, this is the code. I have discussed that in my previous videos, how to write file drop, how to write code which does a cron job, or maybe which helps you as soon as a file is uploaded to a folder, and how to execute another subsequent script based on that. Please go through this video and it will definitely help you do the entire code walkthrough. And I'm just taking that code, copying it here. So what that code does, again, just to recap, as soon as the file is dropped, so as soon as the apple.png file is created in the download folder, I want to call another script here. And I want to, this script, as you can see, it checks that folder every 10 seconds. All right, now I want to read the text from the images. Same thing, I have already covered this in previous videos. That's the reason I created that whole RPA automation series in the past. I have covered all of this entire steps line by line, and these are the mini snippets of the Python code. So go to my RPA repository one more time, and here you will find the detailed walkthrough of this particular code, what it does. But basically, long story short, it uses a PyTesseract OCR library, OCR package here, and it takes whatever content you pass into that. So you pass it an image, what it does, it takes the image and read the content of the image into text. So as you can see, I defined a function here, and I'm passing that apple.png file to this particular function. Let me call this function. What this does, it takes that screenshot what we have created, it's reading that particular image and is just capturing the content of that particular file. All right, next step is what we want to do. So now we have read the text content from that particular file, particular image or document. Now it's time to build the prompt. So whatever we have captured in that text variable here, that means content of that particular image, we are going to build a dynamic prompt. Now prompt here, I'm keeping it very, very simple. I just want to ask one question, or maybe I want to have an explanation. So I'm building two different prompts here. I'm saying, define in one word, what is the average volume of this particular, average volume of the stock in this text. See, and then again in the previous video I have covered this. I defined two different functions. One calls the ChatGPT and other calls the LLMA. Please go through these videos. That's why I have covered all of these details in previous videos so that I can build upon it. So these functions, as you can see, very simple. LLMA, again in previous video, this is simply using if you download the LLMA model, you will see a file called example text completion, and here in this there is a variable called prompt. All I am doing, I am just replacing that with the content I just read. So simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to call that function, but instead of I'm just going to I'm going to update this prompt variable here with the content what I just read from that file. All right. So, and then there are two types of prompts I'm testing with. Please be creative, create your own prompts, and this is entirely about the prompt engineering. passing more information, statistical information you pass on to your prompts, more creative you are, better results are going to be. So again, this is a prompt engineering. If you're interested, just please, because you know your data better, so you can ask the more relevant question. Here I'm asking one simple word, saying here, respond in one word. What is the average volume, or what is the average price, or what is the today's price, or what is the previous day's price, closing price of that particular stock in this text. So please play around with this. And what I did, I asked this question, and I was able to find the answers were very, very accurate, and both the results. So let me show you a live demo on the LLMA. So LLMA, and I will show you the ChatGPT in one minute. Let me define this function. Okay, now let me run this. So for the first prompt, let me print that. And first prompt was, I'm asking one question: what is the average volume at that particular average volume in that entire text? What is the average volume of the Apple stock price in that entire text? So it's going to scan through all the entire text, and it finds the absolute value that, hey, the average volume was 70 million. Now similarly, let me change the prompt to prompt text, and here is going to, I'm calling that LLMA, asking it to print the details. So here, if I execute this function, let me say rest2, print rest2, print rest2, and it's going to print all the details of that LLMA function what we just received. Again, you will be, this is amazingly what it's doing is already putting the data in a JSON or tabular kind of format, which I can directly use. Let me show you a demo, because it's easier to show it on the ChatGPT interface. This has the web interface, so it's easier to see. As you can see, you can test it out that, I pass the entire data, and I said, hey, respond in one word, and you can describe that. And ChatGPT was more accurate. But you can, again, it depends on your machine configuration and what kind of models you are using. Alright, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you like this video. If you have any question, please feel free to open an issue log at my GitHub repository, and I'll be happy to help you out. Please subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching. Thank you.